That's like saying we're going to vote for president, but you guys don't get to vote. But we'll discuss in private. We'll just say we voted for this. We voted, and it's done.
So we don't really know if the Yuma County Airport is going to use tax dollars to sue people that. Well,
that's all they get is tax dollars. They get they get tax dollars plus the money they tax you for fuel. That's 22 cents a gallon.
Well, maybe I'll go over and talk to Craig Williams today and find out what they're going to do.
So you actually pay for your own suing if you buy fuel at the airport.
You know, I'm saddened by it, Paul. I want this thing to work out well. I want the airport authority to be happy with the pilots to be happy with the airport authority. I do. I want it all to be friendly. I want it.
It's just a self-licking ice cream cone, and that's all it's ever going to be. And we're not going to answer to anybody, and somebody ought to get the Attorney General to go over and see what goes on.
I'm going to be talking to him today. He's going to be in here at 7:30, buddy. Bye. Maybe I'll ask Tom Horn if he could help me. Think you will? No, he's not going to get involved in this. There's no way.
Not at all.
You never know. You know,
No.
there's been a lot of twists and turns in this, Russ. There's been a lot of stuff that's came out that I would have never guessed. A year ago, when Millionaire came into town, and we were going through all that a year ago when Millionaire was being installed as the new FBO, if somebody would have said that guy's a convicted felon,
well,
I would have never. That would have never.
And again,
I would have never conceived of that. That they were, they were getting in business.
Again, you and I have discussed this before off air, and my feeling on that is.
I understand. I'm just saying though that
look,
stuff has came out. That
there's a lot of people that have done things that are wrong and different, whatever.
Absolutely.
And we should give them a pass because we're a Christian nation too, but we don't ignore the history, but we don't dwell on it. And I would not give someone an opportunity because they have a conviction in their past. I don't have one, by the way. I'm not saying that, but I know people that do. And at my own business, I've had people with ankle bracelets on at work that we work with. I went to the rehab thing the other day to be able to talk and converse with people that have had wrong turns in their life, and because I think people can be redeemed, I do. So I'm not going to be harsh on any of that. I don't care.
But I'm just talking about the surprises that came out, things you would have never thought.
Right. Live and local, you're on the air.
Yes. I was there for that vote last night after the second session, and what they did, they voted for what they talked about during their committee, and then they all voted. One put a motion out for it, and they seconded it, and then the whole board voted on it. They all said aye. And when I asked them what they voted on, they said it was about the internet.
So it was about the internet website, but they didn't say what the plan of action was.
Not exactly. I talked to Greg Williams, and he said he can't say a word, so I went over and talked to the attorney, and he said that we'll find out in a couple of days. About what they were talking about, but about the internet.
They had a public vote on a private meeting.
Right.
I rather doubt. This is just my opinion. I rather doubt that would be unanimous. If they're deciding to sue Joe,
maybe that's not it. Maybe that's not it.
I don't think that would be unanimous.
I don't think. I know people. I don't think it would be either.
They're going to vote against that.
Right. But
it could be a number of things. They could have voted prosecute. They could have voted take them to court. They could have voted to back off. And
they could have voted. They could have voted to work with. Who knows?
Right.
Table it to later.
But the way I got the impression from Greg Williams last night, they were backing off and they can't talk about what's going on and stuff like that.
You know what, Jim? I hope they do back off, and I hope that we can all work together and we can all get along, and that we can let the lawyers go unemployed for all I care.
Yeah. Well, I told Greg Williams here about 2-3 months ago when this POV thing came up because, this is not a joint air base. It's a shared base.
Right.
Okay, a shared base is operated a lot different than a joint, okay, because basically the military could dictate anything they want on it because it's a shared base. And when the colonel asked to get POVs off there, if they had any sins, they had got the POVs off at that time.
Right.
And they went back to negotiate it once they get to 35 out here. If they get to 35, because if the budget gets go through, 35 is probably not going to get here.
It'll get here, maybe delayed, though. Yeah, I would.
Well, if they take another $500 billion out of the budget for military. We're going to be so skinny, it's not going to be funny.
Well, maybe we can bring back the P-51s. I liked them.
Yeah. But no, if they use some common sense, what happened in the 3 months is everybody started calling their congressmen and ticking off the colonel, because the congressmen were calling the colonel and stuff like this, And the colonel's going to stand fast if you're going to really try to gig him in there. So
I know
the colonel's pretty nice. I know him. I've met him, and he does pretty good. And I think he's outstanding for what he says. And the only reason he came out and did what he did is one of the guys in the meeting that day started getting on his case about it, and they made the colonel mad.
Well, I think
the way he was talking to him.
I think Colonel Cook, as well as Marine Corps Air Station, have been wonderful partners all along, and I wholeheartedly support him. And when he said no POVs, I assume that's final word. I don't, that's it.
He said
and I accept
he
it.
wanted it. The first time he said he wanted it done in 2 weeks. Yeah. And then they argued with him and all that good stuff. And he started to get a little teed off. And
it's going to be shortly.
Then he finally said 1 December.
All right. Hey, I've got to run, Jim. So thanks so much for the call, man. Thanks.
Bye.
The Humane Society of Yuma's goal is to ensure the humane treatment of all animals, reduce the number of homeless pets, and promote the value and importance that animals contribute to our lives and community. You can help Yuma. Adopt, donate, or volunteer.
Yeah, I know we're talking about the airport. There's some other news I got to get out here too. I know you like to fly planes. You
and helicopters.
And helicopters. You pay attention to anything else?
Some things.
All right. Now, do you know the local elections are over, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. And you know that Russell Pierce. You know who Russell Pierce is? President of the Senate. Lost his bid yesterday to overcome that recall petition.
I had not heard that.
Yeah, I watched it last night. Some of the stuff that was going on, and I was disappointed. I'm disappointed those recall things happen. I'm disappointed about Everly trying to recall our supervisors. I just think it's improper. Unless something comes egregious. The reason they recall Russell Pierce is they don't like the policies he had, like 1070 and some of the other stuff. They felt it was embarrassment. So they got him recalled. They did. So he's out of office at least for a year. Well, because I don't think they're going to recall the new guy. I don't think that we need to become San Luis. Let's take a phone call. Live and local, you're on the air.
Morning, Russ. It's Ronnie. How you doing?
Ronnie, how are you, man?
All right. I want to change the subject here, if you don't mind, and share this with you.
What's up?
As you know, we lost a great boxing icon Monday night with Joe Frazier.
I do know. Yes.
And his quick death.
Yeah.
I met Joe several times in the mid-'70s and was up in